What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's the Nosing Dude here. Today we're going to be talking about the Finnish KP-44. We can do a safety check on this if you guys want to. It's kind of pointless because this is a deactivated firearm. Basically, they took the bolt, chopped it in half, welded it in place from underneath in the mag well. So we can still insert mag and stuff. That's pretty cool. But as you can see, bolt's not moving there. So it's clear and safe, unfortunately. But all other parts function just as they should, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, this thing will never fire again, so it's kind of just going to be like a wall hanger, if you will. But we'll go ahead and start diving down into this gun. So as you can see, it may look a little familiar to some of you guys who know your World War II guns. It's a very, I guess, iconic gun that you may be thinking of that this one copied, because this one came after, obviously. But as you can see, that may look pretty familiar. Maybe I'll even do it this way. Pull the mag out, it's a little stiff. Pull the mag out and see if that looks familiar to you guys. Any guesses? Drop those guesses down in the comment section below. But if you guessed the Russian PPS-43, you would be correct. Now I happen to have one laying around, and you can see the similarities here. Now obviously I have a stick mag in the PPS-43. The KP-44 did have stick mags, I just don't have any yet. But yeah, you can see a lot of similarities. They even have kind of the same folding stock there, as you can see. Try to get in the light. But basically, same thing as the KP-44. So the Russians fought the Finnish in the Finnish, let's see, it was the Winter War. But basically, I think it was 1939. They fought the Russians in the Winter War, saw the Russians had a pretty good thing going for them. The Finnish are already known for taking Russian weapons and making them their own. You guys might know a lot of the Finnish Mosins that were captured and basically re-arsenaled to be better firearms, in my opinion. You can't beat a Finnish Mosin. They're about as good as you can get as far as an infantry rifle. I guess as far as an infantry Mosin goes. Obviously there's better rifles than Mosins out there. Mausers are, you know, almost next to perfect when you come to a military fighting rifle of that time. I'm not saying K98s, I'm just saying Mausers in general were very well built rifles. But the Finnish were known for taking Russian weapons and either redesigning them or just basically pressing them into service as is. A lot of the Mosins were captured. If you think of, let's see, 91, the M91s were captured a lot of times, basically rebarreled and pressed into service. 9130s were often captured and chopped down to the M39 configuration. And then the Finnish obviously saw that the Russians had the PPS-43, and that was working really well for them, and they had to basically copy it and press their own version into service, which is what you see here. So with that being said, it's basically a PPS-43 just with Finnish markings on it. Obviously there's some other differences, like you can see here with the barrel shroud. Basically the same design, but a little different with the angled cuts here. But I mean, overall, a different rear sight. Overall, it's the same gun, just able to take drums where the PPS 43 is not. So I believe it's a 72 round drum. Yes, because the mags are 36 round mags. And they did that because the Finnish would oftentimes, or not oftentimes, they always issued their ammo in packs of 72. So you could either load one drum or two stick mags with the same pack of ammo. So it was very smart, logistically speaking, for the Finns to do that. That way that soldiers didn't have to worry about carrying around loose ammo. They could basically just take one little packet of ammo, load two stick mags, load drum mag, or if you had two drums and a couple sticks, you could load or grab two packs for your drums. So one pack, another pack, and then another pack for your two stick mags. So logistically speaking, it was pretty wise of them, and they had that going for them. With that being said, you can see a lot of the commonalities, I guess, between the PPS-43 and the KP-44. That muzzle shroud, they kept that. There's a little difference in it. They, instead of making it a flat piece across the top, they kind of edged it out a little bit, and that kind of helps with the compensating effect to push the muzzle down as it's firing. I could see that being pretty effective. I mean, as crude as it is, still working pretty well. It was a pretty slow cyclic rate to begin with. It wasn't anything, you know, like 1,000 rounds a minute. I'm pretty sure it was around 700. I'll have to note that here below, but basically, very controllable firearm for an open bolt design. For you guys who don't know what open bolts are, basically pull the charging handle all the way back, it locks on the trigger, and the firing pin is fixed. That way, when you release the trigger, the bolt slams home, picking up a round off the magazine with the fixed firing pin. Once it's properly chambered, it'll detonate the round, and basically with blowback design like these are, would blow the bolt back, so to speak, and cycle the next round until you let off the trigger, and then it would hook the bolt back in the locked position, and it'd basically be ready to fire for the next round. A couple of issues with open bolts is you have all that mass moving forward when you pull the trigger, so it's just kind of something you have to train around. Obviously, they trained with these guns plenty enough to be able to compensate for that mass moving forward. But otherwise, for us shooters who aren't really accustomed to open bolt guns, that may be an issue to get used to when you first fire an open bolt full auto gun. Just that reciprocating mass. Another gun that's like that is like a Thompson submachine gun. It's also an open bolt gun. Or modern day guns like a MAC-10 would be an open bolt submachine gun. So just things like that that you have to train your troops on. Otherwise, it's a very simplistic design. It disassembles the same way as a PPS-43 does. I won't get into that, but it's a very easy disassembly. It was basically designed to be as simple as it possibly could and manufactured as cheaply and fast as possible to get as many in the hands of their troops as they could. So it's pretty cool, stuff like that, and just the history behind all this stuff that they were able to do such a thing. What's also kind of cool is the serial number. The Finns serialize their mags, so that's pretty cool. Fortunately, it doesn't match. Let's see, I believe the bolt matches, it does not match. It doesn't matter either way because they chop the bolt in half, so it's not a parts matching gun, but it's a cool piece nonetheless, and it'll be a cool wall hanger. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop those down in the comment section below. I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching these videos of me mindlessly talking about these old guns. I enjoy, spreading some knowledge and just getting to talk about these guns and just the history that they have. It's just cool to be able to own that history and look back at what our ancestors used to fight with, poor English, back in the day. And yeah, it's just cool to be able to have that history to be able to push forward to future generations. Guys, as always, thanks for stopping by. Remember where you came from and stay humble. It's the Mosin Dude, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.